Holla ballers, what's going on? It's Preacher, we're doing the Demolock. Oh yes we are, that badass looking demon. Everything you want to know about Demolock, it's right in front of you, baby. Just look at that fucking guy. He looks badass, right? That's right. Demolock's a strange beast, altered quite significantly since Cataclysm, and now playing on some rather weird astronomical level. What am I talking about? Let's get into it. We're going to talk about everything today. We're going to talk about Metamorphosis, of course, that badass ability to turn yourself into a big demon. Demonic Fury, our new resource system. The new Hand of Gul'dan. The new and improved Summon Felguard. The new and improved Molten Core. And, of course, our new and improved Scary Face Motherfuckers, Wild Imps. That face is legit creepy as fuck. Well scary. Okay. Main thing we need to know about Demonology is our spells are no longer different than what they used to be in Cataclysm. In Cataclysm, we had loads of bindings absolutely everywhere. While we're in demo form, we could do various other abilities, all sorts of different kind of shit happened. All you need to know is that this time, when we go into demo form, our spells change. So if you look at my bar down here, like Corruption and, of course, Hand of Gul'dan, when I go into there, ooh, different spells! Yeah, including one particular one that looks awesome. The Chaos Wave. So good. Oh, 88k in your face. I do enjoy it. Let's talk about your talents. As with most Warlock specs, I have done the other two already. You will know that it's pretty much down to you. There's not much choice in either of the first few. These are the ones I've picked and you guys will mostly roll with in raids. But if you're really interested in them, just give them a read. Really, just give them a read. I don't want to spat every single video going through every talent. All pretty good. The most important one is this one. What do we do with our pets? With the other two specs, we're sacrificing our pets. We're getting rid of them and we're getting some nice big buffs ourselves. That's all good. But for this one, we do get our wonderful Felguard. Yes, we do. Come back to me, my friend. As you can see, he's not looking very Felguardy. No, he's now actually a Wraithguard. Look at that badass right there. That looks so cool. You know when there's a Demolock in your raid. You're going to want to pick up Grimoire of Supremacy. So Grimoire of Supremacy is going to change your pets and give them 20% additional damage and have more powerful abilities. And you're going to be using your Wraithguard, okay? It's your Felguard, gets switched over to the Wrathguard. You can either trick it up here and you summon Demon. There you can see Summon Felguard will actually summon this bad boy. It can be switched with things like Observers and Succubuses and things like that. They all look extra special cool. But what we're after is this wonderful guy. He does a ton of damage. And also he's got Brostorm, which is absolutely amazing. You want to get that Brostorm keybound. You want to use it whenever it looks likely. Very cool. So let's talk about your glyphage. Nothing major on the glyphage. The main one you want to get is Glyph of Imp Swarm. Okay, Glyph of Imp Swarm. The Imp Swarm glyph actually gives you a new spell. It summons 5 wild imps from the nether to attack the target. The ability, why this is so handy, okay, why this glyph is so important is your imps actually generate demonic fury for you. That's that little thin pink bar down there, pinky purple, whatever you want to call it. That is your demonic fury, and that is the resource you spend while in demon form. So you want to pick up this glyph because it's better to have on-demand incoming demonic fury than just very, very random. The other glyphs I recommend are definitely Glyph of Siphon Life. Your Corruption spell will heal you for 20% of the damage dealt. Always nice. This one's debatable. Glyph of Dark Soul. Overall, on a generic level, you're going to get a nice DPS increase overall. However, if you really need to push your demon form to its very limits, don't take this glyph. Don't take it at all. And don't worry about trying to be a tank, okay? Glyph of Demon Hunting is there. But seriously, it's not what you should be doing. It's not really what the class is designed for. It's really not. That glyph should just be removed from the game, quite frankly. It's just too many people trying to fuck around with that glyph. Don't bother with it. Either take Dark Soul or don't. The other two are pretty much mandatory, alright, guys? Especially the Glyph of Imp Swarm. That is your #1 prime glyph. You need to get that bastard in there. It's so, so cool. You want that glyph. Let's talk about your resources. Your gemming and your reforging. Demonology Warlocks actually have the supreme benefit of not having one overriding extra secondary stat. Isn't that amazing? Wouldn't life be so simple if every class was like that? The main thing you want to get is your spell hit. You want to get that bastard up to 15%. Nice. Get that there and you're not going to miss. That is exactly 15% there. You can see my hit rating, 4,323. That gives me exactly 0.00% chance to not be missed. Yay! Every single one of my spells hits, which is awesome. You want to get that straight away, especially if you're doing LFR and stuff, okay? The rest of your stats, very gear dependent, but Either way, it's not going to push them to the other way at all, okay? You're not going to get so much more DPS from crit, so much more DPS from haste, so much more DPS from mastery. That's not going to be the case. They're all very, very close. The only determination of which one is better is literally what gear you're wearing at the time. Either way, it doesn't really matter. It really does not really matter. It could be like slight DPS increase in favor of mastery with one piece of gear. Then you replace that piece of gear and crit is slightly ahead now. So it doesn't really matter. All your haste, your crit, and your mastery are all pretty goddamn equal, guys. Really are. So don't worry too much about your reforging. Just go and get your hit up. You need to get your hit up as much as possible. The other stats aren't... There's nothing that's terrible. Nothing that's terrible. That's what I want to talk to you about, okay? Nothing that's terrible whatsoever. Everything other stat is pretty good, and your gemming will reflect that in good order, okay? Very, very easy. So what we do need to spend some time on is your rotation. Rotation with the demo lock comes in stages. For single target, it's not too bad at all. The main goal you guys are aiming for is to get as much demonic fury as possible and then dump it out, because we do so much more damage while we're in demon form. The basics of it are, make sure you have your Curse of Elements on. Now, one of the wonderful things about Demonology is that when we're in Demon form, our Curse of Elements changes to Aura of the Elements. And you can see it there, Aura of the Elements. This means that we literally start debuffing things that are in our Aura. When we start attacking them, we start getting these debuffs on. You can see I've got Aura of the Elements up on there, on there. It's so handy. This should be baked into every Warlock class as far as I'm concerned. It should be a buff you put on yourself. But hell, it's only Demo, so make sure you get the benefit of that. While we're doing single target DPS, we want to get up our Demonic Fury as quickly as possible. So you're going to open the fight and get your Corruption on. Now, as soon as you start the fight, I'm just going to do a little bit of damage straight away, just to build up a little bit of Demonic Fury, because I spent some on Aura of the Elements. Come to daddy. Right, I've got a little bit of Demonic Fury. So let's change target for this matter. There we go, this training dummy. I'm about to start the fight. First things first, get yourself in Demon form, get your Curse of Doom on, and then get out of Demon form, okay? And then get your Corruption on. You have this other spell. You want to keep 100% uptime of Corruption and Doom as much as possible. Your Hand of Gul'dan. Now, Hand of Gul'dan does pretty shit damage on its own. You can see there, 10,000. But look at the dot that comes from this from Shadow Flame. 8,000, and it'll tick more and more. And this is an AoE spell. So if I come over to these bastards here, and I drop a Hand of Gul'dan, boom! I'm Shadow Flaming everything. Now you'll see Shadow Flame starts ticking up as much as possible. 50,000 there. You can see the Shadow Flame damage. So you want to keep up the Shadow Flame buff as much as possible. So make sure you're tracking that. So you'll have these two debuffs up. Fire off your Hand of Gul'dan, and you'll get the Shadow Flame. You can see it there, that Shadow Flame. You want to not overwrite your Shadow Flame. You keep the Shadow Flame buff up as much as possible. Your Hand of Gul'dan recharges. It has stacks up to 2. Now, these stacks will not recharge fast enough to give you 100% uptime on Shadow Flame. That means you can afford to be a little bit slacky. Don't worry about firing off Hand of Gul'dan the specific second it comes off cooldown. It's not going to be too bad, okay? If you're mid-cast, don't like jump out of the cast and try and get Hand of Gul'dan on. It's not going to matter too much, because you can fire off your Hand of Gul'dan. Let me fire off 2 badders. And you can see the Shadow Flame buff will in fact expire in 3, 2, 1, and I still have a good 7 seconds to go before it actually refreshes. There you go, 6 seconds to go. So you don't need to worry about it too much. Just be aware you want to keep the Shadow Flame buff up as much as possible. Try not to waste it. So we're in the fight. We've put our Doom on. We've got Corruption going. And now we've got a Hand of Gul'dan ticking away. Your filler is Shadow Bolt. You're going to be Shadow Bolting away like an absolute gangster, and you're going to be proccing Wild Imps like this. Now, this is the next thing, Molten Core. This means your Soul Fire is going to fire off much quicker. Now, I suggest you find an accurate way of tracking Molten Core. For the simple reason, okay, is that sometimes the actual in-game animation is very, very bullshit. This animation here. Sometimes you'll have up to 9 stacks of Molten Core, and you'll still only have the one side showing instead of the other side saying, hey, you've got more than one proc, okay? It happens pretty regularly. So I've got a little tell me when thing there, just tracking my Molten Core, just to let me know, hey, I've got 1 left. Because what you don't want to happen is you start spamming Soulfire, and suddenly you've start casting a super long Soulfire. So that's a 1.9 second cast. Without it, 3.7 seconds, okay? It's double the time. Real pain in the ass, real DPS loss. So in your single target rotation, at the very bare bones, you're going to keep Doom up. You're going to keep your Shadow Flame buff up as much as possible. You're going to be Shadow Bolting. And when Molten Core procs, you're going to start firing off some Soul Fires. Very, very easy stuff to do. Nothing too special there. So now we've built up our Demonic Fury. We're in badass mode. Now we're ready to kick some ass. First things first. Blow your cooldowns. Make sure Corruption's up. get into Demon Farm and start spamming Touch of Chaos. This is single target. You're going to start spamming Touch of Chaos. Now, Touch of Chaos on its own does less damage than a Shadow Bolt, but it's instant cast. This is your single target stuff. You're going to burn away that Demonic Fury. Burn it down, burn it down, burn it down, all the way to hell. You can see that your Touch of Chaos actually refreshes your corruption. Very, very cool. And you're going to spam this bastard all the way till it starts running out. Very, very easy. This is the basic style of doing things. Obviously, if you've got procs and stuff, or if you're just DPSing outside of having procs, you don't really want to waste your Demonic Fury, especially if you know a proc's coming. The biggest thing you're going to have to manage is going in and out of Demon Farm to make the best use of whatever your class can do. The simple idea is to float around 900. You don't want to overcap your Demonic Fury. If you're at 100, you're just wasting potential DPS. And then use a bit, then come out of Demonic Fury, and then you'll have some spell proc, some item proc, some trinket proc, where you can get a really nice advantage of being inside Demon Farm. So single target, very, very easy. Obviously, make sure your pet's attacking. I just don't want him churning away sound effects while we're doing this. With your Wraith Guard, you do want to be using Fellstorm on cooldown, even on single target. It's a wonderful source of DPS. Now, for your AoE. AoE comes in stages, alright? Once you start getting to 3 or 4 mobs, the best way of AoEing is literally to start multi-dying. Get corruption on everything. And keep your Shadow Flame ticking on as many mobs as possible. It's really that simple, okay? Keep your dots ticking, keep your Shadow Flames ticking, keep your pet on there, get your Fellstorm going and start doing a bit of single target to build up your Demonic Fury. If you do have good amount of Demonic Fury and these mobs are going to last a little while, get yourself into Demon Farm and put Doom on everything as well. Very, very easy stuff to do. Get out, get Corruption. So you should have Corruption and Doom ticking away. And your Hand of Gul'dan. So you'll have Shadow Flames ticking on everything. You're going to have really nice DPS just from doing that. Just keeping Dooms and Corruptions on the fucking get-go, alright? Really, really nice. When we start getting to 4 or 5 mobs, you're just going to stick Corruption or Doom or whatever you want it to be, and then you're going to switch it to Hellfire mode. Hellfire is going to be fucking awesome for you, alright? It's going to be really nice DPS, and in your Demon Farm, this is going to switch up to Immolation Aura, which means you can cast other things in the meantime. You can see I can cast Dooms, I can cast whatever I want. You have got other sources of AoE DPS, which you're going to be thinking about, hey, should I use this thing? One of them is, of course, Chaos Wave. Chaos Wave has probably been notorious recently, as it procs a instant gib in a lot of arenas. It's been toned down a little bit, and it works on the same idea as Hand of Gul'dan. Now, what you need to know is Chaos Wave hurts like a fucking truck. It really hurts. However, it will do about the same damage as a Hand of Gul'dan on a number of mobs. It's going to be about the same damage, but not instantaneous. So, how do we manage this? When do we use it? In general, if these mobs are going to last a little while, you want to be using Hand of Gul'dan. If these mobs, say in a 5-man instance, are going to die pretty soon, get yourself in Demon Farm, drop a fucking Chaos Wave all over their face, and then just enjoy the DPS as it rolls it. Because you're going to get that boom, big smash of Chaos Wave. It's entirely down to you. Are these mobs going to die? Chaos Wave them. Are they going to live for a few seconds? Go ahead and use Hand of Gul'dan. You need to be aware that Hand of Gul'dan does proc Molten Core, which allows you to generate a lot more Demonic Fury to get back into Demon Farm and do a lot more deeps. So, Shadow Flame does do Molten Core procs. Chaos Wave does not, and they do about the same damage. It's literally, are they going to die? If they're going to die, throw out a Chaos Wave, because it's a shitload more fun. Simple, simple, easy. When we start getting into tons and tons of mobs, tons of mobs, very, very easy thing to do is boom, get yourself in Demon Farm, get your Immolation Aura up, get your pet Fellstorming like a gangster, throw out some dots everywhere, and literally have a hell of a good time. You do as well have Carrion Swarm. It's not a great deal of damage, and be aware it has a knockback. You don't want that whatsoever. The final thing I want to talk about while you're doing your single target is your imps. The glyph we took, so we had our imps. You want to fire off your imps when you're going for a huge amount of burst while you're in Demon Farm. Each imp fireball gives you more Demonic Fury. So firing them off as you're just about to potion, we're bloodlusting, we're doing all that kind of stuff. Fire off your imps just before you get in there. That means you're going to allow to stay in Demon Farm for the entire duration of all your procs, all your cooldowns, all that kind of stuff. And you're going to get to stay in Demon Farm for a hella long time, alright? That's when you want to use your imps. Very, very simple stuff like that. Alright, ballers. So that's the basics. Let's jump into some gameplay and see this all in action. Alright, guys? Bye.